Okay, Dolores, let's have a little chat, shall we? She stares at me, waiting to see what I'll do. I don't know what to say. I believe that some of my anger at her may have been misplaced, but she's still more slippery than a snake. I wonder how well Callum can sleep in bed with her lurking nearby. Oh, I shouldn't think about Prince Callum's bed. Not right now, anyway. Bet you're wishing you were alone here with yonder gentleman, eh? Uh-huh. Is it that obvious? You were quick enough to go at each other this afternoon. I did not. I saw the state of his trousers. I know what you were up to. Whoops. Or did you show him the door? Chance he's tired of you, then. Now that's below the belt. No one can be that rude by accident. I don't understand you. You're not a fool. Why are you trying to make me angry? To see if I can? It doesn't benefit you. I don't know what benefits me anymore. Nothing makes sense. I don't understand you, playing happy servant to people who'll screw you to a post if you cross them. Sucking face with a killer. Callum killed an assassin. If I had to take a life in order to save someone else, I hope I wouldn't hesitate. As for the rest, I am interested in Callum, so it's none of your business. It is not your business what happens between Callum and me. Don't you have your own relationships to worry about? There must be someone in the palace who you find more interesting. Huh. If she's worked here for years, she must know most of the other staff. But, why did Cassidy say that you were lonely? Because she's a lot smarter than you are, Lady Nosy. Tell me, back in your stone heap, are you friends with the hallmaids and the scullions? We're friendly. Not what I asked. Are they your bosom companions? Do you trust them with your personal secrets? No, I don't have a lot of close friends. I don't see what that has to do with anything. So who's a close friend, then? Oscar. Right, your prince. A noble, like you. You'd never unburden yourself on a lower servant. They just wouldn't understand your lofty concerns. Not to mention that most of them would keep their distance if you tried. Never did no good for the common folks to get caught under the skirts of the mighty. As a page, you held the same rank as many noble children. They start as lower servants. For the nonce, ask any boot boy if he's equal to a page who will one day be a knight. They all know. And ask any lord's daughter if she's equal to a street cur who just happened to be named a page. So, you're too high-ranking for the lower sort and too common for the others. I could see how that could be a problem. And promoted to the service of a man who'd like to strangle me in my sleep. Tell me again how grateful I should be. I suppose you'd be happier with your own kind? What kind? There's no one in all the world like me. You could be King Friedrich's daughter, and Cassidy could be your friend, even if you won't call her a sister. Now that I'm high enough for her notice, I think she'd be happy to have any friend at all. She's led a lonely life. More fool her, then. What do you want, then? What would make you happy? To be my own mistress. Live my own life. Nobody telling me what to do. Nobody expecting how I should behave. No one's life is free of expectations. Not peasants and not kings. Because people are fools. A proper life leads to a proper grave. All your roles and customs mean nothing when you're dead. Are you happy, Lady Slave? Do you enjoy being a pawn? Well, I think Madeleine, she does enjoy her life, but I also think she wishes things could be different. She is the second daughter, after all, in her family. Sometimes I wish that the world could be different. But what's the point? We're all born with our places in society. We can't change them. So you are a slave. I think we've said enough. We? I'm not sure what to make of Dolores. In the short time I've known her, she's worn so many faces. I thought she was nothing at first. An ill-mannered page, a servant of no importance except perhaps as a provider of gossip. Someone I could use. And when she proved more clever and resourceful than I had imagined at first glance, that only made her a better tool. I didn't question her aiding me in my search. I didn't consider that she might have motives of her own. Since then, I've considered her a pawn, a traitor, a criminal, a mastermind, an agent. But no label can explain her. She says that there is no one in the world who is like her. But is that really true? Suddenly, my attention is caught by a sound at the door. Oh, you're back. It's Prince Callum. Alone. You must return to your confinement at once. What's happening? You were right. No one mentioned the assassin. Cassidy's going to break the news. There may be a hue and cry. You must be back in your rooms in case of search. Here. He tosses a bundle of fabric at me. Unrolling it, I find a pair of my special gloves. Awesome! I asked him for them. He hesitates before the pronoun, apparently unable to bring himself to say Oscar's name. I would give you weapons, but they're not something you should risk being found with. Go now. I'll come to you in the morning when I have more information. His manner is abrupt, but purposeful. I need to hurry. Good night to you, then. Wait. One more thing. Is he going to kiss me again? Go for it, Maddie. Ooh, he's like, ooh. I step in and quickly brush his lips with mine. Better? That wasn't what I meant. Here. He hands me a folded bit of paper. Don't look at it now. I don't want to talk about it. Just go. Not another secret confession. But there's no time to wonder. I have to leave. Wonder what's in the note. When I return to my prison, I find the cold remains of my evening meal. Not terribly appetizing, but I could use more energy after all my climbing around. Also, eating slowly is a way to relax and maintain calm. Only after I am certain that my mind is in balance do I remove the paper missive from my pouch and unfold it. It's not a message from Callum. It's a message from Oscar. Oh. Dear Maddie, thank goodness you're out of the dungeons. I hated leaving you there. I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to visit. My quarters have been under guard for my own protection. I have to be quick because so many things are happening right now, but please come and see me tomorrow afternoon if you can. You know the way. I need to speak with you in private. I'm sure I can trust Prince Callum to deliver this message without reading its contents, or letting it fall into the wrong hands. I'm also sending some of your gloves. Please be careful, and don't take any risks you shouldn't, especially not for me. I don't want anything to happen to you. Yours, Oscar. Oh, Oscar. Just what did the two of you say to each other? It's perfectly obvious that Oscar expected Callum to read his note and be irritated by what he saw. From Callum's reactions earlier, he probably did. I don't think he'd be that displeased simply from having to carry Oscar's messages. There's no reason for the two of them to be at odds, except for the fact that they're both interested in you, Madeleine. Duh. We are all working together to protect Princess Cassidy and unravel the current situation. Maybe Callum didn't do a good enough job of explaining that? Don't think that's the case. So it seems that Oscar is, like myself, a partial prisoner in the comfort of his own rooms. It shouldn't be difficult for me to reach him there, once I'm sure it's safe to move about. But what is it that he thinks he needs to talk with me about? Does he need my advice about something personal? Perhaps something is blossoming between Oscar and Cassidy. I can only hope. I carefully hide the note in case the guards decide to search these rooms and prepare myself for the night. All other questions will have to wait until tomorrow. Oh, that was quick. In a prison, even a comfortable one, any day is too much like every other day. I pace the rooms, memorizing their dimensions. I eat my morning meal when it arrives. I perform exercises, stretching and flexing to keep my body prepared for action. I wash myself clean. I wait. At last, I hear someone at the door. Man, Madeleine is not good with waiting. There you are. I was beginning to wonder. I have been kept quite busy. Have the guards spoken to you? No, should they? Should, no. But with things as they are, it is impossible to trust anyone at their word, even my esteemed parents. Especially them. So what's happening? In his favor, Father was appropriately dismayed to discover that he had overlooked a very real threat to Cassidy. He is especially concerned that the assassin was one of our own guardsmen. He fears that a rebel faction may have intentionally infiltrated the palace staff. It complicates matters significantly when those you rely on to defend your heir and investigate threats may very well be the threats you need to investigate. Worse, treading too heavily among the soldiers may create problems where there were none. We are asking a great many questions at the moment, and attempting to check stories against each other without raising alarm. Yeah, kind of like what we should have done when we were going through Oscar's route. Except instead he and Cassidy blabbed to everybody and people died, and other people almost died. My parents have asked me to aid them with these interrogations. Well, that's good, isn't it? They trust you. Or they want me to believe that, since their previous attempts at controlling me have shown their flaws. They can't trust you to obey without question, but they can trust that Cassidy's safety is your priority. If they understand that much about you, and recognize your value in that respect, then perhaps you can build from there. If that's what you want, that is. I'm not really one to talk. What do you mean? My parents had plans for me. I took a better offer. We are not much in communication anymore. Plans. Bestowing some unwanted cow pasture on you as your hearthhold? Not even that much. Our resources were limited, and I was the younger daughter. They intended me as a perpetual lady-in-waiting, my sister's shadow and support, and nothing more. A shameful waste of your talents. Yes, well, there you see. A daughter's lot may not be easier than a son's. I tried to tell him that once before, days ago. Many things have changed between us since we first met that night in the passage behind the ballroom. I didn't know him then. He was a prince out of place, a man raging against the fate his birth had decreed him. It's a good thing you were wrong about Cassidy and Caspian, you know. What do you mean? You thought Cassidy was really your brother, and you wanted to give him back the life he should have had. If you resented being a prince, with no power of your own unless a woman chose you, how much harder would it be for your brother to give up being the heir in order to become just another son? I never thought of it like that. Well, it doesn't matter now. I mean, it's not like Cassidy's actually a guy, right? No. Well, I came to inform you that with all the investigations I am required to take part in, I will be busy this day. Cassidy's movements have been restricted even more than before, and the guards are on watch. I think we will have to forgo meeting for today. Good. What? Oscar wanted me to come and see him, so if you and Cassidy aren't available, that works out well. Are you prepared? What do you mean? I thought you said the king is trying not to raise a full alarm. The guards haven't even been in here. Unless they're sending patrols around the walls with crossbows or rifles, I should be fine. Of course. Yeah, I don't think he meant that kind of prepared. I think he meant if I prepared to see my prince again. I should leave. There are many interviews still to be held. I intend to return tomorrow. Should you have need before then, however, you may be able to send word via the guards. Right. He looks so concerned for her. Is there something wrong that you're not telling me? I don't know. And with that, he makes his exit. Oh, Callum, don't be so worried. We're not interested in Oscar like that. There is definitely something bothering him. I just can't tell if it has anything to do with me or not. If there were some specific danger, he would tell me, wouldn't he? Well, it seems I have the rest of the day to myself. If the guards keep a regular schedule, it should be many hours yet before they deliver my evening meal. I should have enough time to visit Oscar and return before they could notice my absence. Oh, excuse me. Waiting until evening might be more prudent, but Oscar did specify afternoon. I'll just have to be careful. Alright, let's get there. And so, after a cautious creep across the castle's expanse, I slipped through the window into familiar surroundings. Maddie! He takes my hand and squeezes it hard. That's exactly what Cassidy did when she first saw me yesterday. Oh yeah, it was. Well, I'm sure she can't have been half as happy to see you as I am. I've been worried about you. The guards have been holding me in protective custody. They only let me out to attend official functions. Official? Oh, Cassidy's anniversary. Ha! I'd almost forgotten. I haven't exactly been to the celebrations. They're trying to make it seem as though everything is back to normal. So the festivities carry on, and my presence is required to represent Ascendaware. Other than that, I've been trapped in here. I wanted to see you, but I couldn't. I did tell you to stay away. I understood your suggestion, but I don't take commands. That's an unusually harsh tone from him. Are you angry with me? No, I'm worried about you. I'm afraid that you're letting yourself be drawn into something that you'll regret. What are you talking about? Prince Callum. What about him? What happened between you two last night? He made his intentions clear. He plans to invite you to remain here in Guelinor. This is the first I've heard of it. Oh, wow, really? And he talked to Oscar about it? Maybe he thinks he already knows your answer. Maybe he doesn't care. He certainly didn't care about forcing your hand before. Have you forgotten what sort of man he is? He attacked me, not just once, but twice. He didn't really hurt you either at those times. He just needed you out of the way. He held me prisoner and forced me to listen to what I thought would be your murder. It was a sparring match, a test. I didn't know that at the time. How do you think I felt? He threatened my life and used that to force you into an illicit bargain. He is directly responsible for making us both prisoners in this place. No, he isn't. He didn't lock either of us up. That was King Priedrick. It was Callum who got me out of the dungeons. Like father, like son. You can't trust either of them. They'd both use you to their own ends. Can't you see why I'm worried? Maddie, I don't want to lose you. He never had me. Oh, that's terrible. I can't say that to him. Especially since he did have us once upon a time. I don't want to lose him either. I don't want to lose him as a friend, anyway. I don't want to lose you either. You're dearer to me than my own family. You know that. But there's no future for me in Ascendaware. And you don't love me. You never will. Oscar, you deserve better. And you deserve someone more like you. You have been trained to govern and rule. You will make a good king, with the right wisdom beside you. Anything less would be a waste. I want you to be happy. I want you to fall in love and marry someone who's a great match for you. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll get to see your children and be Aunt Maddie to them. It could happen, you know. If I do stay in Guelinor, there is a chance that you could stay here as well. You and Cassidy... What about her? Please don't tell me you've been so busy worrying about Callum that you've completely neglected her. She likes you. I believe you like her as well, you know. Princess Cassidy is very sweet, but I don't know her that well, and everyone wants to marry her. She has other suitors, but they aren't the ones who rode to her rescue. You saved her from her wicked kidnapper. More or less. You shared an experience with her that no one else can replace. Didn't she talk to you last night? A bit. Well, what did she say? Nothing really. She was just being friendly. And she asked me to read her my poem, the one I didn't get to finish earlier. Oh dear. Aw. What did she think? She said it was cute. Oh! Cute isn't bad. Maybe you should write another one now that you know her better. You hate my poetry. I'm not Cassidy. As your valet, I have to point out just how much you would benefit by attaching yourself to the heir of Guelinor. As your friend, I think the two of you may be well suited to each other, and I agree with this. If the turmoil and confusion of the past week serves to bring you two together, then it was all worth it. What is going on anyway? Have they caught the assassins yet? Not that I know of. I sum up what I've heard about current plots and imagined plots, including the unproven theory of Dolores' parentage. I don't, of course, go into detail about my interactions with Callum. Yes, let's not. After all the guards have been questioned, maybe something will come to breath. I'll probably hear something tomorrow. Try to stay cheerful. I think everything is going to be all right. For now, I should get back before anyone misses me. Oh, bye, Oscar. And so I returned to my rooms to wait for the night. There is no indication of any disturbance, either here or outside. King Friedrich's investigations must be proceeding very quietly indeed. Well, that's good. Maybe nobody will die this time. So many guests of high importance packed within these walls, and so little disruption. Perhaps all the energy was drained out of them in the panic over Cassidy's disappearance. Now they float in a gentle haze of post-cathartic relaxation. Interrupted only by bread and circuses. Somewhere there are celebrations, concerts, theater. I wonder if I will be allowed to attend any of them. I'm still a prisoner in name, but if Callum intends for me to stay in Guelinor, if he asks, would I say yes? Pondering dots, would I say yes? Yes. Obviously. Another morning, and I am once again treading the floors. I am not entirely isolated here, nor helpless. I have spoken with my associates. I am involved in plans and actions. I have the ability to leave these rooms when I choose, when the risk is worthwhile. For all that, I cannot help feeling trapped and restless. Oh, Madeleine. When the door opens at last, it requires effort not to rush straight for it. Callum. And no one else. I hope you weren't expecting them. Why should I be? You had a meeting yesterday. Yes? There was the possibility that you might have made further plans. My future is quite without plan at the moment. However, I have been given the impression that you might have certain plans, as it were. What did he tell you? That you intended to invite me to remain here with you. Somehow. Which is something you hadn't actually said to me yet. I'm not sure why you spoke to Oscar about it. He is your lord and your close companion. It seemed appropriate. I had not expected his reaction. You thought he wouldn't object? I thought that if he did object, he would express it more openly. Caution becomes him. It was obvious that he does not approve, but less clear what he would do about it. He warned me off, reminded me of the dangers that you and your family pose. All of which doesn't matter at the moment because you haven't yet offered... because you haven't yet offered any such invitation. What is it that you want? For me to take Dolores' place and serve you as I served Oscar? It would be in some ways an improvement over my situation in Osendaware. I hope that's not all he's going to ask us. Without the pressure to achieve a prestigious marriage, we might be left alone in this palace for years to conduct ourselves as we saw fit. Not forever, though. The day would come when it seemed advantageous to offer him to some ally. We would be free, only as long as we were forgotten. What I want is difficult to say. I don't have the power to offer you what you deserve. I don't want to promise you more than I can give, but I do want you to understand my feelings clearly. If you could be granted a title, property, a position here in Guelinor. Is that even possible? Cassidy is the heir, and she has reached her majority, and our parents certainly owe her and you a great many apologies. I don't know for certain yet what it would take, unraveling this assassination plot perhaps, but if it could be done, would you wish it? An estate of my own, a lady proper, even if not in the land of my birth, I would be able to support myself and a family. That's what he's asking, isn't it? Would I wish to be elevated to the ranks of Guelinor's nobility, so that I could request Prince Callum's hand in marriage? Oy, wow. This is not at all proper. A man arranging for a woman to gain a hearthhold in order that she can offer her resources to him? Yeah, but tongues would wag. Playwrights would laugh and take inspiration. Is this what I want? Let them laugh and wag their tongues. Yes. It's hard to say the word. I can't look him in the eye. But it's the truth. I want that future. I want my own home, and I want him. I'm not sure what to say now. Callum, No, we mustn't get carried away. You'll consider, I'll plan. That's good. He brings his stumbling tongue to a halt. Ah. I want everything between us to be perfect. Ah. Callum, you're my favorite. For the moment, there are other matters to consider. The investigation. What have you discovered? I think it's best if I wait until we are all together to discuss that. My sister is currently not allowed out of the sight of the guards except within her own chambers. Therefore, we will need to meet in her rooms rather than mine. Are you fit to climb? Of course. Should I go straight away or wait until evening? Earlier is better. Then I will see you there. He nods and turns away. Once the door has closed, I lose the battle with a silly smile on my face. Everything I have wanted might come to pass. A home of my own, and a man who is my match. But first I have to get through the next few days, beginning with today's meeting. Right, get our game face on.